Today's plan was to finish off what's going to be like the green path. Now, I really like the attitude of there's no such thing as bad weather, just poor choice of clothing. You know, it's a very positive outlook. But I'm sorry, I disagree. But for me, I'm afraid it is bad weather. Right, so, but that's okay. I'm gonna make a hedgehog house. I've been meaning to make a hedgehog for ages, so what's the day? There are a few hedgehogs around still. As we know, they are struggling everywhere, like many things. Confusing weathers and all that sort of stuff. It's not just one thing which they're struggling with. They don't even know fully what they're struggling with, but it's a combination. But one of the things we can do is make a habitat for them. So we've obviously got safe ponds for drinking. We've got access to the gardens. We've got vegetation, left leaves and forage areas where they can look. So we're doing on that. But do we have a house from? I've got the log pile. That might be enough. But we'll definitely make a house. Now, I've been looking at plans online, and there's loads of different ones, but principally it's the same criteria. One, you need a tunnel into them. So not just like, you don't want just a box with a hole, you want a tunnel into them. If you think about that, that makes sense, because it will prevent draft. So that's the first thing. Makes it safer as well, less damp, less chance of water getting in. So that's the first thing. Obviously we need a roof, like everything. No point having a house without a roof. The entrance needs to be about 13 centimetres. I think you can be fairly flexible with that, but that's the hole which you ideally want to put in your fence to allow them to come and go. So it makes sense that that's the same for the house. So we want that, tunnel in, size-wise, 40 centimetres, 30 centimetres, it doesn't really matter. And again, height doesn't really matter. But I'm gonna, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna build it. I'm gonna do a box. I prefer the tunnel in with a box a bit higher. Partly think it looks smarter. Again, you know, I want it to look cool. I'm gonna cover it with a waterproof. Oh, the other thing, it needs to be on some form of legs too, because if the wood's sat on the ground, it'll get damp, so you need it raised up. What I might try and do actually, rather than doing it on wood, I'll get some old bricks, so that'll lift it off the ground, which will keep it dry. So, no point talking, let's get making. So I've used a bigger piece on the bottom, and then 13 centimetres pieces either side, and then we'll use a big piece on the top. And that's a tunnel, and the tunnel I figure is the main thing. That has to be that size, the rest you can work around. So make the tunnel. Okay, I'll just give you a quick inside view bit. So, I've done these edges like this. Just bits of off cut, same on that side. And it's just to hold these joints together. Remember, hedgehogs live in wood piles and things like that, so you know, it's not going to be perfect. I'm trying to make it as nice and draft-free as possible, but wildlife isn't perfect. Well, it is in its own way, but that's partly why it's perfect. Anyway, it's coming on well. So I've just done it with the bits of wood. So it's so they've all the size of the plank's about 40 centimeters. I split one, but principally that's all gone together real nice. So I've just got this gap here to fill in, which may go well, may not. So, I've made the hedgehog house, which I think looks pretty cool. Now you've got two options here. You can either do a hinge roof, or you can do a slot-on roof. Now I'm going to go for the slot-on because, why do I think it's better? I think it's good to be able to take it fully off. If it needs repairing, it's easier to repair without having to move all the hedgehog house out. I don't know why I think it's better, but I think it's better. So that'll be a nice big catchment area over it. Sit on top. So actually, I'm happy with that. Maybe it's a bit bigger than I anticipated, but it's okay, it's good, it's good. So I'm going to do a roof. Here's why this is better than a hinge. I can put the, I'm going to use that old fire hose again. I can put it on separately, away from it, so it's just easier and less awkward. Definitely substantial. Okay. So I've cut it like that, and now I'm going to cut it along the, so it lays flat. So it gets, that's, you know, you roll it up and it lays flat. So I'm just going to cut it along the edge. Here's the hedgehog house. Ugh. Substantial, I would say. So you want it somewhere which is quite sheltered. Like, you don't want it getting a north wind blowing into it. More the entrance. You want it somewhere, obviously I don't want it too damp. You want it with coverage, which we haven't got a great deal of coverage just yet in this garden, but it's coming, it's coming. So I've gone for this corner next to the bee pen, so I'll pull you out a bit. So there's the bee pen. There's the rest of the garden. So it's accessible for things like it's got water. Yeah, okay, people will be walking past it, but it's not going to be where people are sort of spending a lot of time, so it should be nice and quiet. Anyway, I've done it. The bottom, I've put feet on, as you can see. Now that should be enough, and but it's still wood, and obviously wood rots. Initially I was going to use some old bricks that I've got, but then I thought these which just keep on giving. I'm going to put that here, so put that there. I've got some straw. I'm going to put that in. Not a lot. And I was saying about doing the lid like how I did it separately rather than being on a hinge. The good thing about that, so ta-da, one lid, and I was able to make it separately, and now we just slot it on. So that's great. It should work. All I'm going to do now though is get some rocks and wood and just cover it. It should be waterproof because it's got a good roof on it. It's dry. It's stable, but now we're going to just camouflage it in. Right, let's show you close up. So, Hedgehog house entrance, completely covered. I'm going to put a bit more mulch and frisbee down it, but that is the Hedgehog house complete. If you want to comment, like, subscribe, that'd be great. There we go, one Hedgehog house.